Hi, this is Brian with MWater. This lesson is going to cover setting up a mobile device for using the MWater Surveyor app. This includes a short overview of the Android operating system, basic instructions on how to use Android mobile devices, downloading and updating apps like MWater Surveyor, Google Maps, and Android System WebView, and configuring the settings of the device to work well with the MWater Surveyor app. It's important to note that the MWater Surveyor app works on Android, iOS, and also in any browser that you may find on a computer or mobile device. This lesson is going to cover the setup on Android devices because they're the most common. What is Android? Android is an open source operating system created by Google to run on mobile devices like smartphones and tablets. It allows users to run various applications or apps, connect to and browse the internet, make calls, send SMSs, and much more. There are many versions of Android, and each device's manufacturer, like Samsung, Huawei, or Blue, for example, will customize the interface for use on their devices. This means that while the interface may look a little different on each device, the same core functionalities exist across all Android devices. I'm going to start off with some basics of using these devices. In order to turn on a device, hold the power button, which is usually at the top or right side of the device, until the screen lights up and starts loading the operating system. In order to turn off the device, hold the power button and select Power Off from the on-screen menu. The volume buttons are typically on the side of the device and can be pressed to increase or decrease the volume of the audio. Android devices will typically go into sleep mode if they are not used for a few minutes, or if the user does a short press on the power button. If the device is in sleep mode, the user can press the power button and swipe up to unlock the device. If the user has set a password for the device, it will have to be entered in order to wake the device from sleep mode. In this lesson, we'll also go through how to set the period of time after which the device will automatically go to sleep. When using Android devices, there are three main types of on-screen controls that users can do. The first is a click, which is a quick touch of the screen. The second is a long press, which is where the user touches the screen and holds their finger there until an action has occurred. The third is a drag, which is where the user touches the screen and moves their finger in one direction or another. I will refer to these touch controls throughout these lessons. On each Android device, there are three buttons at the bottom in the control bar. These may appear slightly different on each device, but all devices should have these buttons nevertheless. The first button is an arrow, which will go back to the previous screen or app that was used. The second is the Home Page button, which will take you to the main screen for opening apps, making calls, and taking pictures. The third is the App List button, which displays all apps that are open and running. By clicking on the App List button and swiping left or clicking on the X icon, you will force quit any app that is running. This is oftentimes used to restart an app that is misbehaving, or using too much data, or using too much power. The more apps that are running on the device, the quicker the device's battery will discharge and often lead to more consumption of mobile data. It's important to minimize the number of apps that are running at one time. In order to open an app, go to the home page and click on the app icon. In order to go back to the home page, click on the home button. Typing text on an Android can be done simply by clicking on a text box, like the one shown in the email application above, and using the keyboard that appears. To close the keyboard, the user can click the Enter button or click somewhere on the screen that does not have a text box. There are a few ways to access the Android settings menu. One way is to swipe down from the top twice to see the quick settings menu and click the gear icon. On newer Androids, you may have to swipe down on the top right section of the screen instead of the top center. Also, you can access the settings menu by going to the home page and searching for the gear icon labeled Settings. The app can also be used via a web browser on a computer or any mobile device. MWater recommends using the Google Chrome web browser for this. The web app will work offline as long as you don't close out of the application window before syncing to the cloud. Now we're going to get started with the MWater Surveyor app on the Android operating system. This will cover downloading the Surveyor app, updating core apps like Google Maps and Android System WebView, and configuring various Android settings to work best with the MWater Surveyor app. Now let's go to the Android interface on our mobile device. The first step that we'll do is to download the MWater Surveyor app from the Google Play Store. In order to do so, I click on the Google Play Store from the desktop or from the app list, and at the top I can see a search bar. I click on the search bar and type in MWater Surveyor and select the first entry. If it's not already installed on my device, it'll ask me to install. This page will show more information about the application. Click on the Install button to install the application. Some devices will show a screen that asks for permission to use various functions for the app. If this does not appear, it will appear later when you first open the app. So now I'm going to click Open. The first time I open the app, it'll take me to the landing page. Before we get started here, I'm going to go through how to update applications, including MWater Surveyor, and change some configuration settings on the device. We're going to go back to the home page and then select the Play Store. Under the Play Store, I'm going to go back with the arrow at the top left, click back again, and it'll bring me back to the Play Store's home page. At the top left of this page, you will see a menu symbol with 3 horizontal bars. If you click on that, a menu of settings will appear. Click on My Apps and Games, and this will show you all of the applications that need to be updated. MWater does not require all applications to be updated, just some basic ones like Google Maps, Android System WebView, and MWater itself. I can see in the list that I need to update the Maps application. In order to do so, I will click on the Update button and wait for it to finish downloading. While Google Maps is updating, I'm going to set my device to automatically update all apps. In order to do so, I click the back arrow. I'll click the menu, the settings menu, and the auto update apps setting. This will give me 3 options. Auto update over any network. This option will automatically update apps even on a cell network and consume more mobile data. Depending on your data plan, this may or may not be the best option for you. Over Wi-Fi only, this option will automatically update apps when you have access to Wi-Fi. This setting is the best if you don't have a large data plan, but you do have access to Wi-Fi, whether at the office or somewhere else. Don't auto-update apps. This option is best if you don't have a large data plan and you don't have access to good Wi-Fi. If you choose this, then you'll have to manually ensure that you keep these core apps up to date yourself. I'm going to go back to My Apps and Game menu by clicking Settings, clicking the menu option, and clicking My Apps and Games. While waiting for Google Maps to update, we're going to update Android System WebView. Unfortunately, my device has already updated Android System WebView, so I'm just going to show it to you in the Play Store. To find it in the Play Store, I can go back, type in Android System WebView, and it'll look like this. If it has not already been installed on my device, it'll say Install underneath it, or you can find it on the Updates page. This is important to make sure MWater functions correctly on your device. Let's go back to the Update page to see if Google Maps is finished. Once Google Maps has been updated, it'll be shown at the bottom under Recently Updated. Please click the Open button next to Google Maps, and this will show a map with your current location. It's important to verify that this position is correct by clicking on the Target button at the bottom right. If this is correct, then you know your GPS is working fine. It's also important to make sure that your GPS is set to high precision mode. In order to do this, I'm going to go to the home page. From the home page, I can access the settings by swiping down twice from the top. This quick settings menu will show all the basic settings at once. You can see location is highlighted, meaning that it's on. If I deselect location, it is off. If I reselect it, it's back on. And if I hold on the button, it will go to the location parameters. On this advanced settings page, you can see that it is on and that it is in high accuracy mode. If you see that it is not in high accuracy mode, click on mode and select high accuracy. Some newer Android devices will replace these settings with two separate settings called Turn GPS to Wi-Fi scanning, Turn GPS to Bluetooth scanning mode. On these devices, please activate both settings. Keep in mind that some Androids will turn off the GPS or turn the GPS from high accuracy to battery saving mode when the battery is on low battery. So it's important to frequently check that your device is set to high accuracy mode. The next thing that we will check is to make sure that the mWater Surveyor app has the correct permissions. In order to do so, I can go back on this menu, click on the Settings menu, scroll down to the Apps menu, and choose the mWater Surveyor app. Once I've chosen the mWater Surveyor app, I can click on the Permissions button, and it will show me what permissions this app has. I can turn on camera, location, and storage, and then the app is ready to go. This step is not entirely necessary because when the mWater Surveyor app is launched for the first time, pop-ups will appear asking for these permissions. If you select Accept, it will activate these permissions. If you accidentally click No, don't authorize, you can always come back to this page to change those permissions. Now I'm going to set the time after which the device will go into sleep mode if it hasn't had any user activity. To do this, I will click back a few times and select the Display menu. I can scroll down to the sleep settings and set the amount of time of inactivity before it goes to sleep. It's usually recommended to put this to only a few minutes while in the field so that the device's battery doesn't get discharged too quickly. When syncing data, it's important to set this to never or the maximum amount of time so that it doesn't stop the sync process prematurely. This is especially important when syncing lots of photos, which can take a while to do. Now I'm going to quickly change the brightness settings. When I'm in the field, it's important to keep the brightness at a level that you can see the screen in a light environment, but it isn't too high that it discharges the battery too quickly. So I'm going to change this to 50%. And now I'm good to go. Now I'm going to go to the mWater Surveyor app. To do so, I'm going to click on the Home button and select mWater Surveyor. This is where we'll stop for this lesson. To review, we've covered the basics of Android devices, downloading and updating the mWater Surveyor app and other core apps, and changing the settings on the Android device to work best with the mWater app. This concludes this lesson. Thank you for watching.